Clouds rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice will seal your fate. Two enthusiasts breaking it down. Fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tinker Time, an FPL pod, the show for every fantasy Premier League manager who's already second-guessing their 13th draft. It's Sunday, November 30th, 2025, and whether you're wildcarding after week 13 or just here to scout some differentials, you come to the right place. I'm Matt, alongside Jim, and we're here to help you tweak, test, and yes, tinker your way to the top of your mini-leagues. We'll break down the best value picks, fixture trends, and hidden gems, so you don't have to stare at your squad screen in despair. So let's pop open the hood, crack open the spreadsheet, and get tinkering. Jim, how are you?
I'm great. I think I've fully embraced my enthusiast title, so that took a lot of pressure off. I think we might need to edit the opening there, because I don't know how much help we've been for getting people to out there.
I would say, first off, pressure is a privilege, right? So write that down. And then second, I feel like if our listeners, and I'm by no means at the top of the league, so I'm still chasing something. But I think if you take the net of your table position and mine, I do feel like we fall into that enthusiast category.
Definitely, we're here for a good time.
We're here for a good time. That being said, this is a fun one. We're bringing back the Mega Ep. We have a midweek Gameweek 14 deadline. So we're kind of forced here. Our hand was forced. But we want to make sure we give Gameweek 13 its due, right? We want to make sure we give it the respect that it deserves.
If we were to skip a week, this might be up there.
So I thought it was kind of ironic. You know, the number 13, it's got a little bit of mythology to it, right? So like the number 13, a lot of times it's considered unlucky, right? So I did a little bit of research, and I came across some a little bit of history on the number 13 and why it's considered unlucky. Here's what I found: a little history lesson here, because we're enthusiasts, but we love history, right? Wise man once told me history's in the past, but he's not probably listening to this. So most of the answers to why is the number 13 considered unlucky are all dining related.
Oh.
In Norse mythology, Loki was the 13th guest at the banquet in Valhalla, which, he caused a scene. We can assume Erling Haaland was there. He's a Norse god himself. He probably saw the whole thing unfold. In Christian mythology, Judas... Well, biblical references. Careful. I don't want to, we're not a biblical pod.
Careful.
We're not a religious pod. Judas was the 13th guest at the Last Supper. We know how that ended.
He caused a scene too.
Yeah.
Jesus, why am I not your favorite?
Oh boy, this is going to turn into the Passion of the Christ episode. Oh, I could recite the whole thing. I have people that. And the fear of the number 13 is so ubiquitous that it even has a name, and I'm going to butcher this. I think it's Triscuits. No, I think it's triskaidekaphobia, and I'm probably saying that wrong. But either way, I feel like it was written on the wall that Game Week 13 was either going to turn out one of a few ways. It was either going to be really good, really bad, or maybe you came through kind of in the middle. And that basically hinged on whether you're
just describing every
true
week.
Outcomes. Well, hold on, but I'm getting to that. Basically, that alluded that it just depended on if you played the free hit correctly. Because I feel like there was a free hit that I feel like a lot of folks, if they hit it right, it worked out.
You have said nothing that you can say any game week. You either did well, you did in the middle, or you did poorly based on if you used a chip or if you chose the right captain.
I would say there was a free hit this week that if you were paying attention, it was a very popular template, and it hit this week. I'm not going to call anyone out, Commissioner Magaro, but there was, and we'll talk about it. But, there was a pretty good template this week, and it happened to hit. There was a triple captain that missed this week, which was pretty nice.
Yeah, one that a lot of people have been eyeing too.
Yeah, yeah, but we'll get
Should
into that.
we
We'll
get
get
into it?
into it all. Yeah, let's get into it. So first game, no Friday fixture, but we kicked it off with Brentford Burnley, Thiago, right off the rip, or should I say, Pen Iago. Another couple penalties there for him.
Well,
Can't be
only one
stopped.
was a penalty, no?
I thought he had. What was it? Oh wait, was it just one? Maybe I'm thinking of last week when he had the
Yeah,
second and he botched it.
yeah,
Yeah, so he.
yeah. It's
I don't know what it is. He's just on fire.
scored a pen in the 81st to open it up. Then Burnley put one in, and then they had Brentford had 2 late goals to put it away. So, a lot of goals early in the Saturday slate there. But clean sheets were nowhere to be found.
You know what they say: more goals, more girls.
That's what that's what I've heard. So yeah, I think Thiago is like basically a must-have going forward here, right? He's not going to be impacted by AFCON at all.
I don't believe
He's
so.
they've they've been doing well. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he did come off like the 94th minute, I want to say. Or I don't know the exact, but there was, I think he was tagged in Fat Mob as like an injury sub, but I think it was more of a precautionary substitution. I don't see him flagged at this point in time,
He's not flagged in the
but
AFCON.
yeah, so hopefully, but you never know. I mean, it is a quick turnaround. Is he going to turn around and play 90? Who knows?
He's now won by 22% up to 6-7. So quite a rise
Man,
pretty
it's
quickly.
6'7". You know, the kids would say 6'7".
7.
7. 7. Speaking of 7, number 47, Philly Fodes, Saving City.
Yeah. So City 3 leads 2. Foden opened it up early with the goal, and then he had another one at the death. So he started the first minute and the 91st minute. That's pretty fun. And you're the one you've been doubting Thomas, Dominic Calvert-Lewin with the goal.
Yeah, I mean he still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're not about to jump on that train, but
Even after his goal, he didn't take the pen. So Lewis Matcha took the pen, missed it, but then put away the rebound.
I saw something interesting, kind of circulating around the interwebs after this game. It seems like City in the first half of games seem to be in control defensively. They seem to concede a lot of their goals in the second half of games when they are leading. And I think basically what folks were alluding to was like, you know, when other teams, the teams they're facing are down, you know, they're on their attack, they're more pressing. And it basically, I think people are alluding that like this is the fault in Donnarumma, you know, being their keeper. Like he's a great keeper as far as, you know, penalties, you know, you saw him save one there, but you know, this is kind of, you know, the build out of the back, it's kind of exposing him, I guess. I don't know, but we've said it all along, like City's defense, it's kind of hard to put a finger on what it is that is causing them to be so inconsistent.
Yeah, and it goes back to last year too. Right? It's not
Right.
just Donnarumma. I mean, they would let in a goal a week, and I had Ederson, so I was feeling the pain. It just had not been the same team that they had been in years prior, and I think that might be because probably the midfield looks completely different, right? You don't have
Yeah.
ADB in there controlling the ball. They used to have hundreds more passes than everybody else in a game.
You think it's just as simple as like Rodri's not fully healthy?
I think it's Roger. I think, what emphasizes how big of a loss KDB was. I think it comes down to the midfield more than the defense, right?
Huh.
Compared to the amount of possession that they used to have, you would expect, yeah, any opposition is going to get more chances. And
Yeah.
I don't know, definitely staying away from them. Although Vardiel did have the assist,
He had the
but the
goal,
yellow,
right?
he had a goal. Sorry, yes, he had a goal.
Yeah.
Nico O'Reilly had the assist,
Riley.
but then Vardiel had a card. I don't know. He's still one to consider, I would say, but he has that premium price. How much do you wanna pay?
Yeah. And on the point you bring up O'Reilly, you know, I think I may have been overlooking his value. You know, we talked the other week, Doku or O'Reilly. We're talking about O'Reilly, his minutes and, you know, minutes risk with Nori coming back. Well, Nori is on schedule to, you know, depart for AFCON. So I guess in theory, O'Reilly, you know, I guess maybe he might be a minute risk, rotation risk for week 14. But I guess once Nori departs, I would think O'Reilly would continue to play there. So I guess if you're considering O'Reilly or if you have him in your squad, you probably could feel pretty good about him for the next 2 or 3 or 4 game weeks. So just something else to consider. But we
Yeah, I
just
guess the
also
only
talked about City's defense is kind of shite. So
yeah, but he's cheap, right? He's still
I think he's 5. I don't think he's gone up to 5-1.
he is 5-1.
He's 5-1 now.
5-1, owned by 6.5%. So, I mean, still a differential. Got Fulham, Sunderland, and Palace next. If he's gonna be chipping in
Sunderland, Palace.
offensively, you'd have to think he's, at least in the short term on AFCON, probably a good alternative to Vardiol to save some money.
Yeah, I feel like Bardiol's pretty much cemented himself as a center back now for Pep. I don't think he's playing out wide. I don't think he's been playing out wide. I think he's pretty much been featuring Bardiol and like Ruben Diaz as his 2 main center backs.
Has Kuzanov played since he's been available, though?
I know he played in a midweek fixture, but
Yeah, I don't think he's
I don't know if he's played any prem minutes.
yeah.
I'd have to double check. But
So, yeah,
yeah,
maybe some certainty in the back they can count on, but
you trying to get certainty in the back?
next game, the Black Cats, meow. Bournemouth 2.
Tri-City Valley Cats.
Bournemouth had to a hot start, 2 goals within the first 15 minutes. Then Black Cats just roaring back, 3 goals, penalty in the 30th, and then 2 in the second half to put it away. They have just been playing phenomenal.
Yeah.
Clean sheets haven't been there, obviously, but I don't know. They just put
Who
up so much more
cares?
fight than Spurs, and
Yeah.
they're getting goals
Who
from everywhere.
cares?
It's hard not to be
Yeah.
jealous of how they're looking.
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, Tyler Adams representing US. Did you see that goal?
I did see his, yes. I didn't see
Beautiful
any of the other ones.
goal. Menyo back in the squad after a week away, maybe, on a little honeymoon after he got engaged to his girlfriend. I don't know what that was all about. But, yellow card for Semenyo. That's another blank now. I don't know how many blanks in a row. We could go look at that. But I think, I think at this point, if you're still holding on to Semenyo, if you've been considering selling him, I think you can pull the trigger. I think you can feel pretty comfortable doing that now. I think there's better options. You can cash in on maybe some of that price rise.
So he's 7-8 right now. What was his max 8, or was it
Did he
just
ever
started
hit
9?
8? We could look, right? We could probably see that.
I think on the website you can pull it up.
Yeah, I'm getting it right now. Hang on. So menus at, like you say, he's at 7-8 right now. His peak was 8. I'm seeing 8-1. Yeah. Yeah. So he's dropping. I mean, people are moving on from him. And rightfully so. I mean, how many blanks
Yeah.
in a row is that now?
So 1 point,
1, 2,
1
3,
point this
4,
week,
5.
and then 2 blanks before that. Oh well,
Yeah. So
yeah. Contribution wise, it's been quite a bit.
yeah. Yeah. Someone though, I will say on Bournemouth who's kind of been, I don't want to say flying under the radar, but like I feel like Evan Nilsson has kind of been very quietly tallying up assists. He's got 2 in his last 2 games, and then he had some minutes issues where he was injured. But it does feel like maybe, I don't know, he is kind of providing some value as a 7 mil forward. I don't know. I mean, there's obviously better options, but just as a differential. I mean, if you're looking for like a downgrade from João Pedro, I don't know, but just an option. But yeah, I think the big story here, Sunderland just clawing back. Lafille, second penalty on the season for him
So
from La France.
Bertrand Traore, assisted by Granit Xhaka. Always good to see Xhaka's name back, still in the mix.
Yeah, but yeah,
I-
not the
Still nobody I would consider bringing in, but love to admire them.
yeah. Yeah, I think really you're just looking for those, 4.0, 4.1 mil defenders on Sunderland just to continue to get those minutes. Bonus points if they get the DEFCON. That's really it. I don't think there's much more to it, at least for me. I don't know.
Yeah, agree.
Anything else on this one?
Now let's move on to another high scoring game. So there was 4 goals first game. City had 5, Sunderland had 5, and this one again, Everton 1, Newcastle 4. The Toffees.
This game was over at half.
Yeah. So Malick-al, 2 goals on the day. I mean, a high scoring player of the week. Voltemade scored another, assisted by Elengo. So there's that connection we've kind of been hoping to see. They finally got one in there. Everton scored a goal that was Vardoff for foul, but then Kieran Dewsbury Hall scored in the 69th minute, assist by James
Nice.
Tarkowski. So Tarkowski is, a name that's in a lot of squads. So obviously lost points for letting in 4, but got the assist there. So it's little consolation prize for him. But yeah, Newcastle looking good. Ultimate continues to be red hot.
Yeah, I think that's 5 goals now in 10 appearances for Newcastle. Much better than the guy that he replaced, I will
Mm.
say that. Uh, yeah, I eventually Newcastle, they're gonna get hot, I would say. Uh, Harvey Barnes did get the start. He's been in phenomenal form. Anthony Gordon did come on late, but again, the game was, it was in hand at that point. The second half was kinda it was I don't wanna say it was not competitive. The game was over. The
Game
game
is
was
over.
over at that point. The game was dead. It was killed. Yeah, is that Alanga's first goal contribution too on the season?
Might be.
That's bad. He was your big spend.
Yeah, his first assist. All comps.
Was he more expensive than Voltemade? I don't remember. I think he was, right? Wasn't Alanga like 80 and Voltemade was like 67 or something like that?
I don't recall.
Had to go in the ledger. But yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
it will be interesting to see what they do with Gordon because he started the midweek game at Marseille,
mm,
but I don't know. He's not going to start over Voltemade. Is he going to just stay on the left and split time with Harvey Barnes? I think that's kind of what they have to do based on the form.
probably.
Um, but then, how happy is he going to be with that? We'll see.
I'll have to say,
Also, Vissa's supposed to be back this month, right?
yeah, I think I saw a note that he was training, but I don't know the extent to which he's training. So who knows?
Either way, he's going to be coming in ice cold, so he's not going to be
Freezing.
taking minutes, but just something for the Newcastle to consider probably in the offseason.
I will say I did not appreciate Ramsdale getting the start. Wasn't even in the squad. I don't know why. Was it last week or maybe it was 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago he had the concussion scare. So he did start a game in between, but maybe this was just one. Lots of fixtures coming up, trying to give Ramsdale a game here or there. Uh,
Yeah.
that's why it's always important to have your second keeper be a starter.
Speaking of second keepers, Spurs might be
Oh,
needing to look for one. Tottenham 1, Fulham.
say it, Jim. Say it.
I don't know. Wait, let me say.
Spurs suck ass. Okay.
Spurs are bad. We let in 2 goals before the 6th minute. I mean, the one that Vicario charged, it was just self-inflicted. I mean, even the first, I forget which one was which, but the other goal that we just stopped defending. Bergvall looked terrible, just made some theatrics of him getting blown by instead of trying to keep up. I don't know. Tough game. Kudus did have a goal late. It was actually really nice. Assisted by Bergvall. I think you texted me that last week that he's probably going to be playing himself into a starting spot given how bad everybody else has been. And he contributed here, even though he kind of was at fault for one of the goals. But
Yeah, it's messy right now. Before we get into, I think because obviously we want to keep it to the FPL side, but as Spurs supporters, I think we can jump over the line a little bit. But just to put some numbers behind it. So going into the Spurs Fulham fixture in Spurs last 6 games, so their attacking form, they have scored 9 goals on compared to an expected goals of 4.47. That ranks 18th out of 20 teams, only ahead of Sunderland and Burnley in terms of expected goals. So I guess in that sense, you could say oh, they're really overperforming. But to put it in perspective, right, like Arsenal, who are top of that table, have an expected goal of 12.33, and they have scored 12 goals. So the best teams in the league are literally, 3 times an expected goal. You want to have a better expected goal and actually hit that. I guess conversely, on the defensive side, right? So they have an expected goal allowed of 9.8, and they have allowed 10 goals. So I guess they're actually in line, but that is 17th out of 20 teams, only ahead of Bournemouth, West Ham, and Burnley. Burnley are bottom of both lists. West Ham are trash, and Bournemouth, we know they've been kind of out of their defensive form lately.
yeah,
Again, to put it in perspective, Arsenal's defensive form, again, this is over the last 6 games, their expected goals allowed over the last 6 games is 2.3. They have allowed 3 goals over their last 6 games. I mean, we're not even in the same. I was almost going to cuss there. We're not even in the same sentence, like the same breath. We're so far away. I mean, there's calls for Frank to be sacked. There's news conferences. There's interviews where Frank's calling out the fans. The fans are for booing Vicario in the middle of the game. He's saying that's unacceptable. Those aren't true fans. Listen, Vicario made a mistake. He should have cleared the ball. There's no question about that. These fans, these what he's saying are not true fans. They're paying a lot of money to come to the game to
They're
support their
frustrated.
team. They're frustrated. If they want to boo these grown men that play a kid's game for a living, wear it. Deal with it. Don't say they're not true fans. You got Pedro Porro who's yelling at Bergvall after the game. You've got Mickey Van de Ven who has probably all the talent as we've seen from a Spurs defender in the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years,
He
maybe
single-handedly
10 years.
saved a third goal as well.
Right. And I mean, but all of these games, the frustration's growing. You're just opening the door wider and wider for him to go to Bayern and go play somewhere else. I
Yeah.
don't know. I saw one report today that, Oliver Glasner basically said, Palace won their first trophy in however many years, and the board could have chosen to invest or not. They chose not to, and that was basically, his way of saying like, I'm frustrated, I want to leave. And now you've got folks saying like, Glasner, come over and, come manage Spurs. Like, at least you're going to be an attacking coach. Frank's trying to manage Spurs as if he's at Brentford. Yeah, I think there was also, I saw a note that said like last season when Ange had us finish 17th, he
Yeah.
had 20 points to the same number of games. Frank has 18. So it's like, I don't know. You could point to injuries. He doesn't have Madison. He doesn't have Kulusevski. Who else is out right now? I mean, Solanke's out. Would it make a difference?
So
I don't know.
I think
Rant over. Go ahead.
I think it does make a difference, right? Because, and I'm trying to pull up I said it to you. So Spurs top 5 leagues of Europe, the number of players and games missed this season, Spurs are top of the list with 92. So that's 15 players collectively have missed 92 games. The next highest is Nice, 11 players missed 65 games. And this is going back to last year. We have just had so many injuries.
Yeah.
We really should be taking a look at the training staff. What are we doing?
True.
We can't play well and control the ball in the midfield and be creative, offensive players if nobody's playing together. Everybody's always injured. Madison is our one creator. He's been out. Last year he was injured. They brought in Xavi hoping that he would be that replacement. We got fleeced on that one. And it goes back to the same thing. When Madison was out last year, we had nobody that would create. With him out this year, we have nobody that can backfill that. Yeah, Pepsar and Bergvall have looked pretty good at times, but they're not, number 10s that are going to be distributing the ball for people making runs. And it's not going to be, last year it was Kulusevski or Brennan Johnson coming on the wings, popping a couple in here and there. And Kudus has kind of filled that role this year because there's nobody else to do it. But that's not sustainable to score the way we need to.
It's very frustrating to watch. We're so far. We're so far from even just being like in the realm of like, you want to call yourself a top 6 club? Like, no one's even taking you seriously at this point. Like the trophy that you won 6 months ago, like, okay, great, move on. Like, it's just
So my only hope is that Levy left in September after the window closed.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe whoever is calling the shots now, because I don't think he's officially been replaced with a single entity.
Paradisi.
Has he?
I think it's him, and there's another guy too. Forget his name.
Well, regardless, maybe they'll see that our squad is so thin because we hired or we sign all these guys. They get injured. Nobody gets the playing time that they need. So we need to spend more strategically rather than bringing Xavi in at the last minute because we couldn't get Sabinho and we couldn't get Eze.
We had Eze. We lost Eze.
He blanked this week at least.
He's such a bitch.
All right, done with Spurs.
Moving on. Yeah.
On the other side, did you see Raul Jimenez go up for the handball?
That was
fun.
That was just his revenge because we talked so much shit about him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I want to stay relevant. I'm gonna try to like a full on volleyball spike, and good for him. Good for him. It was nice.
All right, moving on.
Sunday slate.
So the first match, Crystal Palace 1, United 2. Mateta with a goal ruled out with VAR, and then followed up by a penalty in the 36th minute that he converted. So good start there. I think he blanked the last 2 weeks, so it's good to see him back in the score sheet.
Hmm.
Buemo started the game with an early yellow and then blanked again. So that's back-to-back weeks for him with only 1 point. So probably see his ownership drop this week ahead of AFCON, people moving him out based on form
Hmm.
ahead of that. But with the game, so Xerxes finally converts in the 54th minute, assisted by Bruno, followed by Mason Mount, 3rd-minute goal, also assisted by Bruno, and then that was the end of it. I think we said Mount a
I
couple weeks ago, didn't we?
I think we did. I,
After
yeah,
making
I mean,
fun of
I
Xerxes, though, so it kind of evens out.
think you said it too. Bruno Fernand or sorry, Bomo's gonna be leaving for AFCON eventually. Bruno Fernand priced at 8.9. He had 2 assists. Bomo right now is priced at let's see. He is priced at right now he's at 8.6. So if you can find, point 0.3, that might be the I don't want to say most obvious, but that might be the straight swap. Bruno's going to be on pens. They have good fixtures, and West Ham in 14, Wolves in 15, Bournemouth, who have been kind of scuffling defensively, in 16. So that I could see a lot of folks making that move just straight up.
With the next match is West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth. So no clean sheets there. You gotta like it soon.
Yeah. So yeah, on the Palace side, I mean, you mentioned Mateta, getting his return. Tough for the defenders. But to be honest, it didn't surprise me that United put one past. I think the Sar injury, again, he's another that was going to be leaving for AFCON anyway. But with the Sar injury, I think I saw a picture of him. He left in a walking boot and crutches. Glasner said his ankle was pretty swollen. So, just kind of expediting, the move out, the eventual move out because
Could be good though. Maybe that means he won't go to AFCON. Back in the squad faster.
maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, I think like you said, Bruno moving him in is probably the takeaway from this one. I'm not gonna move Mateta out just based on Sar's injury with how well he's been playing.
No, I don't think so. No.
All right. Anything else there?
I think that's it. Next fixture was the one I think I had mentioned to target. Villa continuing to roll. There was no Wolves trap. I mean, I guess if you thought they were going to start Watkins, they ended up starting my boy, Donnie Mallon up top there. Comfortable win for Villa. I'm trying to remember who gave us the goals against that in that game.
Boubacar Kamara. Is this by John McGinn?
That's what it was. Johnny boy, little boy, pretty boy. That's come up twice now, I think in like 2 episodes in a row. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about at the top of the episode. There were a lot of FPL content creators out there who were running their free hit this week. A lot of them were going triple Villa defense. They either were going like Emi Martinez, Matty Cash, and Kanza, or maybe they were going Emi Martinez, Matty Cash, and maybe Rogers in the midfield. So there were a lot of folks who, when Villa hit that 60-minute mark, their point totals went way, way up.
Could I just jump in real quick? You gotta share these content creators' names with me. I really could have used.
Oh my God, they're all over the place.
Yeah, but I
some
don't
of
know who
them.
to trust. That's like me
Well,
putting my name out there.
that's
Look at the
well, we
advice I
are on
give.
Twitter. We are on X. Like and subscribe. Some of them even follow us because we're the content creator community.
Wow,
We
it's
like
brotherhood.
to like FPL Fish. I don't want to name drop here, but FPL Black Lab. We're all in the community.
Black had a good week.
Shout out to Black Lab. I can't believe we haven't mentioned it yet. I think he broke 80 points, and he wasn't even on a free hit. He might have just been planning for this. That son of a gun. Yeah, if you captain Foden this week, you had a good haul. But yeah. I mean, triple Villa this week. Whether you lined it up or you pulled your free hit and you had 2 or 3 defenders, huge returns. Huge returns. Interestingly enough, I don't think any of them actually made team of the week. None of them
Yeah,
individually
not enough
really
goals
jumped
to go
off the
around.
page, but that's okay. 8 points here, maybe split some of the bonus points. Did the job. What's going on with Watkins? He just falling out of favor?
I don't know. I mean, how long can you start a guy when he doesn't score?
I mean, he came on in the 54th minute.
Yeah, that's a weird time for me.
He replaced Emi Buendia.
I
It's
mean,
confusing.
Malin has 6 goals this year, 3 in the Prem,
Yeah, he's a stud.
3 in the year.
I told you at the beginning of the season.
This is a preseason people are gonna be talking about for years.
Yeah, I said it. What's he priced at now? His price had to go up.
That's
I
a
don't know.
that's
I
a
don't know, but
yeah.
it's too bad because Watkins, his price next year's got to drop. It's got to be in the sevens, assuming he stays. I don't
It's a
know.
time to strike, right? I mean, he's
Yeah,
not
I
even
don't.
gonna
I
get
don't.
called up to the World Cup squad.
Well, to be honest, as long as Harry's healthy, there's no reason he should even be subbed off. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Um,
Anything else on this one?
ceremonial question. Anything to talk about Wolves? Nope.
I think they actually had a goal that it got ruled out. So almost something to talk about, but yeah,
Good for them.
good for them almost.
All right.
I will say though, Wolves do have a better expected goals allowed and a better expected goals than Spurs over the last six. So as far as chances created and chances allowed, Wolves are technically playing better than Spurs over the last six before this game week. So that just puts it into perspective.
I mean, yeah.
And we talked Spurs for like 10 minutes. Yeah.
All right, moving
Moving
on.
on.
Nottingham Forest 0, Brighton 2. Kuiper gets a goal in the first half, followed by a Stefanos Zimias 88th minute goal to put it away 2-0. No, nothing by Minta this week. He looked phenomenal, though.
He was rated 6.9 on FOTMob.
Yeah.
Nice.
What
Uh,
more could you ask for?
Brighton quietly up to fifth in the table. That's European football.
Yeah.
Last I checked.
So De Kuiper
Sneaky,
was playing basically up top this game, like where Matoma used to play.
right?
So
Yeah,
one to keep an eye
that's
on. He has not performed defensively, but if he's going to be playing out of position, maybe we jump back in.
that would be incredible. I think right now he's got to be priced around, or he might even be 4.4. I know a lot of folks moved out, and I'm going to check right now. 4.3, priced at 4.3,
That's
but he
nice.
just started as a left wing. Like mm, mm, you hear that? That could be good. Could be real good.
Forest side, still don't know. Gibbs White came off
Gibbs White
injured.
injured. Yeah,
I just don't trust anybody else in the squad.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got nothing more on this one. Honestly, I didn't
Okay.
watch it. I didn't watch the highlights. It's
Honestly, it's best policy, usually.
I was busy.
All right, next game, West Ham 0, Liverpool 2. Alexander Isak opens up the scoring in the 60th minute. Assist by none other than Kodiakbo, followed by a 92nd minute Kodiakbo goal, assist by Joseph Gomez. The big storyline here, obviously, Florian Wirtz not injured. What a shock!
These managers, man, they're just a
Starts the game
bunch of
out.
liars.
Did we not say he was going to be out for a month plus?
I'm pretty sure the report on Saturday, like as late as Saturday, was he was going to be out for a month.
Then he starts the game. I guess let's just also to note he started over Salah. Salah's
Oh
bench
yeah,
for
yeah.
the first time in I forget what that was 2018 or something like that at home.
No Salah, no problem. I guess. Yeah, I also saw a report that said, Verts has really been hitting the gym. He admits that the physicality and the jump to the Prem from the Bundesliga has been something that he's had to adjust to, but he has already gained 2.5 kilograms worth of muscle.
Whoa!
So if I do some quick napkin math, 2.5 kilogram to pound is 5.5 pounds of muscle. It was Thanksgiving here in the States, and I think I gained 5.5 pounds of pure body fat. So it's
I don't
kind of
even
the
think
same thing.
mine hasn't even been converted to body fat. It's just I'm just full still. It's just
Yeah,
getting pushed into crevices.
my poor septic tank. Yeah, I mean, Verts is still not someone we're not really going to talk about him yet, right?
No, Alexander Isak though. Good to see him score. He needed it. I needed it.
Yeah, yeah. I think the player that if we're going to spend any airtime, because airtime's expensive, talking about it, it's got to be Gakpo. And I feel like even going back to preseason, like Gakpo was that third Liverpool attacker that if you were kind of going through the list, that was before Isak was there. He was probably the player you would target after Salah and Verts, and he has made his case that right now he is probably the primary Liverpool attacker to target. I don't have his point total up in front of me right now,
He has
but I mean,
62 points.
62 points. That we had a 14-point haul this week. I mean, pretty good.
Yeah,
What's he priced at right now? Is he still at 7.5, or has
still
he gone
seven,
up? I mean, that's crazy that he hasn't gone up. What's his ownership?
12.7.
I mean, he's almost at like differential discussion.
I know.
He's gonna skyrocket.
It's like kicking myself that convinced me that Soboslai is the Liverpool option I needed. But yeah, it's almost too
He's
obvious.
gonna skyrocket. He's gonna skyrocket. How could he not? Well, I guess if Isak's goal might force folks to say, hey, now he finally got one in. This could kind of break the seal.
We got Sunderland at home next too, so there's gonna be goals in that one.
Sunderland, yeah.
But yeah, uh, on the West Ham side, Paqueta double yellow, so if he's gonna miss a game, he's just wild card.
He talked himself into that one. That was incredible. Yeah. This was the result that I think everybody, if you could have, blindly said, Liverpool, West Ham, I think 2-0, I don't think that would have surprised anyone to not have Salah contribute, to him not even be in the squad was very surprising,
Yeah.
I think. But, do I think now that like Salah's gonna, like be out of the rotation? No.
Well, he's leaving in 2 weeks, so
True.
right.
That is a man. See, this
And
is where AFCON's gonna throw me.
maybe that's what this was. Maybe it's like, hey, it's West Ham. If we can't beat West Ham, doesn't matter who we put out there. Maybe they saw it as an easy fixture. Let's see how we look without Salah, so we can work on that for the next couple weeks.
Very true. That's very true.
I mean, if I was a manager, that's what I would do. But that's just me.
Maybe it's Gakpo this week. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Anything else from this one?
No,
Then that brought us to the prime fixture, primetime fixture, Arsenal Chelsea. What I take away from this, Arsenal, I guess they had their injuries in the back line, but they were up a man and they couldn't secure 3 points. Not what you want when you're trying to get some separation from the team that's literally behind you in the table. You try to get some separation there. I don't know.
yeah, agree. I mean, and I think my biggest shock was Mourinho starting up top. Is that really their best option? I mean, yeah, I say that as he scored. So,
True.
but
Well, that soccer move was exquisite.
yeah,
Delicious.
it's just their open
You
play
think
goal.
Caicedo deserved the red?
Yeah, yeah. Do you?
Fair enough. To be honest, I feel like when you slow these cards down, they always look worse. Like obviously he was going for the ball. It's just that, in real time, if a guy gets to the ball half a second faster than you do, then the ball is going to be, out of the picture in an instant, and his follow through is going to get him in the ankle. So I don't know.
Yeah, but he
I
already
think
got
when
in
you,
the way with a couple before that.
well, yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just sometimes I think like you have to. That's where I feel like like VAR kind of. That's not what VAR, in my opinion, should be used for. Like if it's not clear and obvious in real time, then you shouldn't get the benefit of like slowing it down. I guess I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure they'll change the rules again.
Yeah. But yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. This game, so Reece James with an assist. Jessica all but said in his presser after that, like Reece is not going to play 90 in their next game midweeks. If you have him, uh, you can. I don't know. Would you start him after Mariska basically made that comment?
And not play 90s, okay? Usually we play 60.
Do you think he even plays 60? Like,
We can have
would you start him or would you put him on your bench this week?
against Leeds, I would start him.
You would start him? I don't know.
It's Leeds, so I don't know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think he even gets? Do you think he comes on and gets the 30?
Even if he comes on and gets to 30, he still has a chance to contribute offensively against Leeds. That's where I'm coming from. If it was,
Yeah.
Somebody a little more challenging, I would say, yeah, you're probably not worth it. But
Yeah. That's where this game week is going to be. I feel like it's particularly tough because it's not even like a Wednesday or a Thursday midweek game week. Like it's a Tuesday midweek game week, and I know there's some Wednesday games too, but
no, this one is not on Tuesday.
I've got games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then United have a game on Thursday.
Yeah, Chelsea's on Wednesday though.
Sure. Yes, the Chelsea one
Oh,
specifically.
you're talking deadline. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Arsenal obviously, a little bit injured on their back line too. No Gabriel, no Saliba there. So, uh, these teams aren't at full strength. You know, it's hard to like take a lot from it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think they deserved the draw. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
Palmer was on the bench. See that?
I did not.
Yeah. Pedro came off after 55 minutes. Another blank. Not great. Not great. But yeah, that was the slate.
Wraps up the weekend.
Wraps up the week. You mentioned player of the week, Malick-al.
Sure.
16 points, 2 goals, 6 DEFCON, so no points there. Only 2 bonus points, 90 minutes. I'm assuming the third was, I actually don't know. Probably got the third bonus point. But so, yeah, good for him. Another defender. I mean, feels like these defenders are getting 2 goals like it's nothing. I don't know. As far as flops go, I mean, I think there's 3 that stand out to me. Uh, it's gotta be Holland because he actually played. I think Bomo because he actually played. I've
Mhm.
got Salah on the list. Obviously, he didn't play, so he's not a flop in the sense of he performed poorly. He didn't even get to the stage, you know. So anyone you'd add there?
No, I think that's a big one. Holland is with that fixture, huge expectations on him.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of managers pulled that triple captain and didn't work out. Didn't work
Yeah,
out. Yeah, a lot of buyer's remorse there, but you get 2 of them, so
it's true.
maybe, better luck in the second half. But, rounding out the rest of the team of the week, so we had Verbruggen, 7 points over at Brighton. Mentioned Thea, De Kuiper, you mentioned 15 points. He's gonna be playing more forward. That could be phenomenal value, but we'll see. Tete over at, Fulham scored a goal. Ugh, son of a bitch. Joe Gomez with 11 points over at Liverpool had the assist and the clean sheet. Lewis Miley over at Newcastle had a goal. Philly Fodes, not bleached hair Philly Fodes. That's why he scored. 15 points. Cody Gakpo, we mentioned him with 14 points. Lafie over at Sunderland. Ingo Unchained with a 12-pointer over at Brentford. And Thiago with 13 points over at Brentford for a total of 143 points. If you had all these players, good for you. Good for you. Uh, if you had none of them, that's okay.
Another affordable squad.
Yeah. Not a single player in this squad is priced over 8 mil.
8? Yeah. 8-1 maybe?
Yeah, got money to blow. Money to blow. If you had money to blow, Jim, what would you do? Would you buy like maybe something sweet, like maybe some dessert?
Yeah, it's always nice to after a nice meal, a little sweet treat.
Yeah, I feel like, over these past few days I had a lot of like pie and like, like heavy desserts. But sometimes you want something like a little less heavy.
Something
Uh
light. Something you could
like
feel healthy
not
eating.
Yeah, like frozen yogurt. And Jim, this episode is brought to you by strawberry frozen yogurt, the miracle of modern dessert, the creamy, cold, delightful treat that has convinced an entire generation that they can eat a vat of ice cream every night and still fit into their jeans. And why? Because of the word, the glorious word, the sweet, sweet lie, non-fat. It's all here. That amazing taste, the tartness of the strawberry, the velvety smoothness. It's so good. You don't even think about you don't even think about the calories. You just keep eating it. You order another round of strawberry for you and your friends. You watch the scale tick up and you think it must be the big salad or maybe the buttons on my shirt are shrinking. You never ever suspect the yogurt because non-fat means no problem, right? This is the frozen yogurt that can change the course of the mayoral election. It can ruin a man's reputation. It can make you wear elastic waistbands because that sweet, delicious taste. It's a conspiracy, people. The whole thing is rigged. The fat content is a lie. Lloyd Braun told me. So go ahead, eat the whole container. Indulge in that perfectly pink strawberry goodness that tastes too good to be true. Because maybe it is, but who cares? It's delicious. Find your conspiracy today at realnonfatyogurt.com. That's realnonfatyogurt.com and use code TINKER for an extra free large cone. Strawberry frozen yogurt. You're going to love it and you're going to hate yourself for loving it. And back to the pod.
That might have been our worst ad read yet.
We're definitely not getting paid for that one.
No, no.
Oh my God. You know what it was? Someone was over here tickling my feet, so I was laughing the whole time. Definitely was Very unprofessional of me.
That was bad.
All right. Well, we mentioned it's a mega ep. So before we get into game week 14, we got to quickly do our point roundup. Do you want to do your points first?
Yeah, it'll be quick. So I ended on 37 points. Unfortunately, I have Caicedo, so that was a -2 there. Van de Ven with a blank. Really, the only point contributions came through Mateta. I captained Isak, so I had 14 there, and then Saka with the assists. Disgusting week. 37 points, but we move on.
Hey, you beat the average.
Oh yeah,
I'll
look at
take
that.
that. I too, as well, also beat the average. So I scored 42 points. Had Dubravka sub on for Pope, so he gave me a point. Van de Ven with a 0. 4 points for Reynaldo, got me that DEFCON. Sorry, he gave me an assist, I believe. Yes, an assist. Chris Richards with a point. Bergu with a point. Omo with a point. Neto with 2 points. Kudus with 8 points. Take that. Alan Captain with 4. Thiago with 13. Voltamade with 7. I had made one transfer, like I had mentioned. I brought in Thiago for João Pedro. So I've officially moved on from João Pedro. My life is better for it. 42 points. Moving on to Lord Tink. Tough. I hate to say it. Tink beat us this week. 51 points. Tink did
Technicality.
decide, yeah, he did decide to use his bench boost. So 51 points with bench boost. He made 2 transfers. He brought in Michael Keane and Danny Welbeck, and he moved out Chris Wood and Goodmanson. So those were the 2 moves that ultimately Lord Tinkerton made. Sanchez in the back, a keeper, gave him 3 points. Pedro Porro, Richards gave him 1 point apiece. Timber and Michael Keane each gave him 2 points. Bruno Fernandes gave him 22 points as vice captain because Mo Salah, who was his captain, did not play. So that was big. Vice captaincy is important. Kudus gave him 8, Semenyo 1, Doku 2, Evan Nilsson 5 with an assist, João Pedro 1, and his bench had Dubravka with 1 point and Danny Welbeck with 2. So 51 points total. That Salah blank really put him over. That's what it was. Beaten by the AI again. Damn it.
We'll get them.
It's tough.
We'll get them.
Yeah, we're going to get them this week. And moving on to our captain draft. So if you remember last episode, Jim chose Alexander Isak, who gave him 7 points, and I chose Thiago, who gave me 13 points. So we'll tally our scores when we make our picks for this week. Okay, so I think ultimately that wraps up game week 13. Moving forward now to game week 14. So it's like I said, it's our first midweek game week. Could mean a lot of player rotation, especially for those Tuesday games. Was there anyone who played on Sunday that's playing on Tuesday? I don't think so. Most of those
No, I don't
teams are
think they
playing
do.
on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and then United and West Ham are playing on Thursday, so they get kind of an extra day. So maybe a little less rotation risk for them. But let's go through it. Okay, so starting on Tuesday, we've got Bournemouth and Everton, Fulham and City, and Newcastle and Spurs. Who do you like in those games, Jimbo?
I mean, you got to like City coming off that win. They're going to get goals. I think Holland's going to come in with a vengeance after not showing up Foden there. So I think City is probably one of the standout games of the week. But then again, Newcastle, Spurs have stunk. Voltamade's on a tear.
You.
So I could see Voltamade or even one of their defenders. Right? I mean, off the corner, we're pretty bad at defending corners. So I could see Newcastle defense maybe, or just a Newcastle attacker is a good pick too.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much. I mean, the Bournemouth Everton fixture, nothing really stands out there. I think Jack Grealish and Jai have kind of cooled off. Dewsbury Hall is on a very good run right now. I think. What is he priced at right now? Is he still under 5 mil? I think.
No, I thought he came in at 5.
Let me double check. Let's see. Dewsbury Hollow. Yeah, 4.9.
So he dropped.
Yeah, which is interesting because in his last 3 fixtures, he's had 9, 13, and 7 points respectively, an assist, a goal, and a goal. So he must be hitting 2 clean sheets out of his last 3 and defensive contributions in 2 of his last 3.
Well, did he just
So
drop though?
he's
Because I thought he was pretty highly owned when he first came in.
so he was 5 mil back in game week 9. So he dropped in game week 10.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I guess that makes sense.
It's been about 3 or 4 game weeks, but his form has been phenomenal. Could be a player, maybe. I don't know.
They have
Someone to-
Bournemouth, then Forest next, but then Chelsea, Arsenal, and then
Yeah.
Burnley. So Maybe the
Dewsbury
next
Hall,
couple games.
is he on loan from Chelsea? Is he eligible to play that game?
Chelsea, I
I
thought they
think he
bought him from Leicester. No.
I wanna say Dewsbury Hall is on loan from Chelsea. I think he was bought by Chelsea. I think he's a Chelsea player. I mean, Fotmob could tell me that. Let's check. I'm curious. Kieran Dewsbury Hall,
Nope, he's an Everton player.
through and
You're right.
through?
Chelsea had him last year.
And they sold him or he's on loan?
They sold him.
Okay, interesting. Chelsea just buy everyone. It's hard to know if they're selling or loaning people. But yeah, so I think that's really it. I'm not bringing Semenyo back in. Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that City fixture is looking pretty good. Pretty good. Spurs, no bueno. Moving on to Wednesday, we got Arsenal and Brentford. Brighton are playing Villa. Burnley and Palace. Wolves and Forest. Leeds are playing Chelsea, and Liverpool and Sunderland. And I guess we can just lump United and West Ham as the Thursday fixture in there. So what do
Yep.
you what stands out to you on Wednesday and Thursday?
Couple good ones here. I like Palace at Burnley. I think we already mentioned it. He's been rock solid.
He's done
Chelsea
what?
at Leeds. Chelsea at Leeds. Another one that Leeds, they did score in this previous week, but they've been struggling
Mhm.
all year. And Chelsea just seemed to. I mean, they're just outclass them on the pitch. And then Liverpool Sunderland, another one, home game. You'd expect goals. I would imagine they're going to play at least Isak and Gakpo inverse again. See if they could keep that
Mhm.
magic going. What about you?
Yeah, I think Arsenal are going to come out. I have a tough time thinking that Brentford are going to convert a goal. I would say clean sheet likelihood very high for Arsenal.
Then again, Thiago's what, 13 goals in the year?
Well, consider who they're playing. I don't know. I mean, Arsenal's defense has been, as you like to say, pretty rock solid. Pretty rock hard, like you mentioned. So if there's a team maybe to be a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more in control. I mean, like we said, that was the their what was the well, I don't need to bring it up right now, but I feel like Arsenal are going to get back on their defensive track this game. Saka, who had a nice assist, I could see him maybe put one through here. The Villa Brighton game is going to be interesting. Villa have been on a roll. There's no denying that. If I'm Unai, I can't imagine he's going to shake things up too much. It's been working. Brighton, though, are probably the best opponent that they've faced in recent weeks that I can recall without going to look at who they played. But so this could be a good test. If they win 2-0, maybe we start buying Villa stock a little bit more, but
Oh, you run
we're
up
we're not a
against the man
financial
Menta.
advice. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, or Menta, comes back into the conversation. I like your take on Palace. Forest Wolves might be the worst game of the season.
Yep.
That one,
Just skip it.
I'm
Just
not
skip
gonna
it.
not gonna DVR that. And I gotta say, I'm really rooting for Sunderland because we talked about it. I feel like extensively how Liverpool had this phenomenal run of fixtures. Which attackers were we going to bring in, and then we ultimately said we're not going to do it. I know you brought Isak in. I know you brought Chobosly in. I still have Mo. Maybe my move this week is Mo to Gakpo, and maybe I feel good about that. But
Yeah.
if this run for them ends up being pretty good and they just had one bad game, we might look back on this and be like, man, they ended up having a really good run. They just had that one bad game. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. But that might be my move this week is solid Gakpo. So I don't know. Still thinking
Okay.
about it. Uh, but I don't want to forget that United fixture either because West Ham have been
Yeah.
booty cheeks. They've been pretty bad. I could just as easily go solid to Bruno. Keep that penalty option available. Still have plenty of money in the bank.
Could see that.
So you know, so yeah, some good fixtures this week for entertainment purposes. Some pretty good fixtures for FPL assets as well. Is there anyone based on these fixtures that you're looking to bring in?
Yeah, I got to get rid of Caicedo
Oh yeah,
and probably Embuemo. So I might be tempted to go Bruno based on what we've been talking. Like Caicedo, I'm not sure. I might be able to get to Doku. Maybe a City player. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. I wouldn't mind
okay.
a City attacker, but we'll see.
What about captaincy? What stands out to you? I know we kind of just we kind of mentioned it just now, but let's put it on paper here.
Yeah, so I think Holland obviously is going to be a big target again this week. Does he blank 2 weeks in a row? Probably not. On top of that, I think Isak, I know we're saying a lot, we're putting a lot of faith in their fixture run, but there's just no way that as good as he is, he's not gonna get it to start to click.
Yeah.
So
They
I
need
think
him
he's a
to.
good choice. And again, like you just said it, Bruno, that's a nice home fixture.
Yeah.
What a nice way to end the week there if you get a good captain.
Yeah. There's only one other name I think folks could target, and that would be Mateta. I think as a very differential captain.
Yeah.
Burnley, like we mentioned, they've been, bottom of the table in attack, bottom of the table in defense. They had some, I don't want to say fool's gold. I feel like at the beginning of the season they were kind of playing with some of the teams. Maybe they weren't getting the result, but they were being competitive. Competitive is only good if you're getting the result. So at the end of the day, right, like this could be a game where Mateta's. I think the thing for me with this one though, if Sar's injured and he's going to be out, which we feel like he's going to be, what is their attack? I guess Munoz can get super attacking. Mitchell can get super attacking. Do they play like two up top with Nketiah and Mateta? Does that maybe make it a little easier for
Yeah.
Burnley to defend because Mateta's like their main attacker?
I
Does Pino get up there? I don't know. I don't know what
I
they're
think
gonna do.
Nketiah is a one-for-one Saar replacement, no? He's filled in for him before and
Yeah,
done
I'm just
well.
not sure. I think he came on for him when he got injured, right?
Yeah,
That
and
kind of
I forget when. It was
that
definitely
sounds
this
right.
season. I had him in my draft, and I never pulled the trigger because of the yeah,
Yeah,
that
when
they played.
Sarr got injured today, Nketiah came on straight for him. So yeah, so that I think that's just my only. I would say my only concern is just I want to make sure that Mateta's got another attacking threat around him, just so that Burnley, they can't go into it saying take Mateta out of the game and maybe we can have a chance. So, but I would agree with you. I think everyone else
Might be a fun one, might be a Mitchell or a Munoz captain.
that would be a move for someone that has nothing to lose. But
That
I
would be a
love it.
that would be a fun one. Yeah.
That would be a fun one. Speaking of captains, it is your turn to make the first pick for captain's draft. So going into this week, you are sitting upon 8 total points, and I'm sitting upon 15 total points. So if my math is mathing. So who do you pick this week, Jimbo?
I'm going to take Bruno.
Well, that is an excellent pick. Fernandez, I'm assuming, right?
Bruno Fernandes.
Okay, you're gonna go Bruno Fernandez.
Wait, is Bruno
Okay.
Tamiari an option?
Bruno Tognoli, Dancing the Cha-Cha. That is a great pick. I love that for you. I think I am going to go. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Saka. I think Saka could have a good game
Mm.
week. Bakayo.
Him?
I think he also just got engaged this week. So assuming he's not too tired from all that dicking down, maybe he will have some nice return. I guess he's probably not being dicked down. He's dicking. He is doing the dicking down.
All right, should we move on to
Let's move on.
differentials? I think it's kind of early for differentials. And by that I mean I have not looked into any.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, it's hard to pull differentials just at this point because like you said, it's such a quick turnaround. There's going to be so many moves in the next 48 hours. I think for me, it's honestly more useful to look at players that have been moving and their price rises. So, like
Yeah.
if I'm looking right now, so this is live. So, Chalaba, Chelsea defender, his price will rise tonight. He's already met the threshold. Martinez, his price will also rise tonight. He has also already met the threshold. Bruno Guimaraes over at Newcastle, he will rise tomorrow. So he's on track to rise tomorrow. It looks like, if I'm looking here, Tavernier, Holland, Rodgers, Ruffer, Casemiro, they're all around like the Tuesday point to make moves. So if any of those names stand out, Nico O'Reilly, Savo, Kukureya, Eric Mitchell, Donnarumma. So these are all they're all 80% of the way there for a price rise. So if any of those names are standing out, you might want to consider making a move on them. As far as players that are dropping, so Gabriel over at Arsenal, he's going to drop tonight. He's already met the threshold.
Oof, that was quick.
Emeka Okafor, well, I mean, a lot of people are moving on. Emeka Okafor over at Leeds is dropping tonight. Douglas Luiz over at Forest is dropping tonight. Let's see here. Goodmanson is going to drop tomorrow. Let's see. Mudryk is going to drop tomorrow. He might get to 0 before the season's over. Why was he in so many squads? I don't understand.
But is he
Reece James.
potentially going to be at almost dropping, but like nobody else has him anymore?
I don't know. Or does he just become so cheap that people are keeping him in their squad just because he's a body? I don't know. Let's see here. Jordan Pickford, Reece James are both on their way. They're both about like in the mid 80% of the way there. So those are a couple names, at least, names that you would notice that are kind of on their way. All right. So real quick, let's take a look at our teams as far as what moves we're thinking of making. I know we kind of just mentioned it, but I can go first because
Let's see it.
So if I'm picking my team this week, Nick Pope is flagged now. He's got a groin injury. He must have been wanking it too much. Newcastle playing Spurs or Dubravka playing Palace. I'm probably going to start Pope just because I feel like Newcastle's defense has been pretty good, and I feel like Spurs' attack has been pretty crappy. I'm going to start Dorgu against West Ham. I'm going to start Richards against Burnley, and I don't really want to start Van de Ven against Newcastle. I've got Salah starting right now against Sunderland. I've got Neto starting against Leeds. I've got Mbomo starting right now. I've got Kudus starting right now. Holland as my captain. Thiago and Voltamade. So there are multiple players in here that I don't love. I don't really want to start Reynildo against Liverpool. I don't really want to start Joe Rodon against Chelsea. I don't really want to start Josh King against City. So I don't really have a lot of options. I only have one free transfer and I only have 1 mil in the bank. So it's not great. I think though, if I were to really, I might be able to get by with Dorgu. Who knows? I mean, maybe Spurs, and they didn't play defense the other week. So maybe they decide to play it this week. I don't know. Salah, he didn't play the other day, so maybe he plays. And Kudus did look good. So I can't really if there was one Spurs player to play this week based on their performance in last game, it would probably be Kudus. And I'm not going to not start Thiago against Arsenal. He's their main goal scorer. So I don't like the idea of rolling, but that might be on the table right now. Or I've got 1 mil in the bank. Maybe I'd go in Bomo to Bruno. Maybe that's my move. Yeah. That's probably where I'm leaning right now. Or maybe Dorgu. It's probably going to be a United player that I make a move for. Okay. I can live with that. What are you thinking?
So like I mentioned, I gotta move out Caicedo, but I want to upgrade Mbuemo to Bruno. So if I do Mbuemo to Bruno, I have 0.1 in the bank, and that would get me a 6 mil to replace Caicedo. There's really nobody great at that price point, so it'll be tough. Maybe I bring in Dewsbury Hall, really clear up some tear. Yeah,
been on a tear
because he's really the only one that I could afford at the moment. I guess Dango
Unchained,
but he's Arsenal and Spurs next. I don't know. Don't love that. So
Spurs suck though.
Yeah, that's true. I do have some tinkering to do. I think I need to do another move, otherwise I won't be able to start a full squad. I have 2 free transfers, so I rolled last week.
Okay, show off.
So I'll come up with something. Like you said, I'm a man with nothing to lose. So
that's a dangerous man or woman,
or one you'll quickly forget about.
Yes. Speaking of a dangerous person, so we've got Lord Tinkerton, who already has made their transfer. So I did also run out of AI credits today, but I was able to get one last prompt in, and it was make my transfer. So very interesting strategy from the AI this week, but we're going to go with it. So its prompt this week was to move out Michael Keane, who it brought in last week, and to move out, who was the other forward that I just made?
You just dropped Wood for
Danny Welbeck. So I brought in Welbeck last week. So the 2 players it brought in last week, it told me to move out, and it brought in, get a load of this, Toti Gomez, or Gomes, I don't even know how to say it, Wolves defender, okay? And Frankie Muniz over at Fulham, who's injured with a hamstring injury. Yeah, not expected back until after the new year. So
interesting.
This was an interesting one, and both are on the bench. So I think what it's trying to do is free up some funds. The lineup that it chose, however, is a 3-5-2. Sanchez at the back, Pedro Porro, Timber, Chris Richards, Doku, Fernandez, Kudus, Mo Salah with the captain's armband, Semenyo, Evan Nilsson and João Pedro, and Bruno Fernandes with the vice captain. You have Brabka as the backup keeper, and then Munoz, Totti, and Mukiele as the bench in that order. Like, its starting 11 is actually, I don't hate it, but its bench is useless. But now he has 1.5 mil in the bank. So he's actually,
It's a lot.
it's a lot going into game week 15 with one free transfer, and then he'll probably use it, and then he'll get reloaded to 5. So yeah, I mean, maybe it knows something, Jimbo. I don't know.
He's really.
Ugh, we can't lose again.
I feel like it's definitely gonna mess up off with 5 transfers.
Well, initially, I'll admit, part of the reason why I ran out of credits was because it kept telling me to bring in Bournemouth striker Dominic Solanke. And I kept saying, nope, he doesn't play for Bournemouth. And they said, oh, okay, well, in that case, bring in Liam Delop, who plays for Ipswich. And I said, no, he doesn't play for Ipswich. And they said, oh, okay, well, then it was like, oh, well, then if that's the case, then Dubravka and your Sunderland player they're not valid because they're not in the league this year. And I was like, I'm going to tell you the 20 teams that are in the league right now. So I think the issue is
to look at FPL website.
I guess there's no feed. Like, it must not have access. Like, I don't know how at the FPL like back end is structured, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't have access to it. So there must not be like an API or something that it can tap into. But I think the underlying issue is like the season wraps around years. So when you say like, give me the 2025, 2026, it still thinks that, everything from January to May counts as 2025.
Yeah.
You got to train this son bitch. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. Jimbo, this mega app, did we get through everything?
We did. Don't know how useful it was, but it was fun.
Well, I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask. How was your Thanksgiving?
Delightful. I need a day away from the house so I don't eat leftovers. Yeah.
Why don't you just throw them out at this point?
Why would you throw them out? They're still good.
I know, but I'm saying, like, if you really wanted to stop eating them, you could just throw them out.
I don't want to stop eating them. I need to stop eating them, but I want to eat all of them.
I understand that. I get that all the way. Yeah. I ate all my leftovers. So that's the easiest way to just stop eating them.
Maybe you didn't cook enough.
Well, it's possible.
Yeah.
Not likely.
Yeah.
But it's possible. Well, I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving. I'm glad everyone got through it. Countdown to Christmas now. We're fully decorated. We're ready to go.
There you go.
You been on the nice list? You think you're on the nice list?
Yeah. Probably I'm like on borderline, but I get like the sympathy. Yeah, he's fine.
You're so naughty.
Yeah.
You're crazy. But you know one way to stay off the naughty list?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's right, Jimbo. Listeners, if you've made it this far, first off, thank you. We're still thankful, even though Thanksgiving's over. But in all seriousness, please go like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Drop us a comment. What are you doing in this very short turnaround between Game Week 13 and Game Week 14? How was your Thanksgiving? Feel free to roast us. And shout out, by the way, to our Tinker Time Pod League. FPL Black Lab with an 82-point week. Maguero with a 78-point week. Paul Gonzalez, Maximum Steve with a 75-point week. These are big scores, guys. Really nice.
When the average was 32, those are monster scores.
Huge. People never seen scores like this before. I mean, you can't believe it. Yeah, the league is lots of arrows this week. Lots of movement. We love it. We love it. Yeah, and it's still not too late to join our mini league. We'll drop the code in the description as always. And thank you for joining us on Tinker Time. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop your captain picks in the comments, and see you guys next game week. Happy tinkering.
Draft dreams rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait, captain choice will seal